Hello friends, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a chatty get ready with me, and I recently picked up this Makeup Revolution palette. This is the Cherry Icon palette, and I just thought this looked super pretty. I love purples and burgundy shades, so yeah, we're just gonna jump into this palette today. Also, excuse my fingers and my hands. They're a little bit dyed because I did a bunch of tie-dye projects yesterday. And so my nails are kind of gross because my nails got stained and I don't have my press-ons on my nails and my cuticles are looking kind of rough. So just ignore all that. Like, as you can see, this has a lot of like brighter and deeper shades in here, not a lot of great transition colors. So I'm gonna go in with this shade first and just see how that works in the crease, and then just kind of go from there. This is kind of like a peachy flesh tone shade, so I don't really know how much this is going to show up. So I'm just blending that here in the crease and also a little bit here in the outer V with the Morphe M332, I believe. Yeah, M332 brush. So it's a nice kind of warm, pinky, peachy color. It's showing up decent. So I'm taking this up pretty high because what I'm thinking is this can kind of peak above one of the other shades that I'm going to use in the crease, either that purple or like magenta kind of color. I think next what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the darker purple shade. Gosh, this finger looks so rough. Sorry about that. I'm going to take this darker purple shade here, and I'm going to work this in the outer V with the same brush, that same Morphe M332. So I'm just going to stamp it here like that, and then I'm going to turn the brush this way and start working some of that color into the crease a little bit. I feel like the shade matches my shirt perfectly. It's such a beautiful plum burgundy shade. I love shades like this for fall and winter. So I'm just slowly adding and building the intensity of that color. Usually when I work with like a darker shade like this, I just like to go in little by little and build it up, because with the darker shade, it's easier to build it up than it is to try to blend it away. I'm gonna go back with that first shade that I used in the crease, and I'm just gonna go around the edge of that purple. Okay, and then to deepen this up just a little more, I'm gonna go in with that darkest color, and I just got that on the tip of that same Morphe M332. Just focusing that a little bit more in the outer V. But yeah, I'm not really getting any fallout at all from this palette, so that's really good. I mean, a lot of times with like darker shades like this, you've got to be really careful with fallout, but not having any issues with that, so that's a plus. Okay, I think I'm just gonna go in with the white shade first anyway, and we'll just see how we feel about that. So I'm just packing it on the Morphe M303 brush. This shade is kind of chunky, so I kind of expect some fallout with this color. But I hope you can see on camera a little bit of like that duochrome kind of quality to it. I don't know if you can see it there. And I'm actually not really getting as much fallout from that as I thought I would. But we're gonna go to a comedy show tonight, and it's gonna be a little bit later, so I just wanna make sure that my makeup will last all day long, and it is currently like 9 o'clock right now. So I'm just gonna dot this a little bit around, and I just dampened this Wet n Wild makeup sponge off camera. But I'm just going in to blend out that foundation. And like Revlon Color Stay is my go-to for lasting power. Like this stuff will last through anything. And it can look maybe a little bit drying in the winter months, but a lot of times in the winter, I will pair it with like a luminous primer underneath and it looks beautiful, or I'll mix it with like a luminous foundation. But in the summer, this is perfect because my skin tends to be a little bit more on the oily side just because I live in a humid climate in the summer. And this just works really well in humidity to like last and not sweat off or rub off. I have loved Revlon Color Stay for years, like well over 10 years. I have loved this foundation. And for my concealer, I'm just gonna first go in with my under eye color corrector in the shade Peach. This is from LA Colors. I got this at the Dollar Tree. Is that right? Yeah, Dollar Tree. Almost said Dollar General, which they might actually sell it too at Dollar General. But this stuff is so good for helping to neutralize blue or cool tones kind of under eye circles. Especially blue, because orange, you know, on the color wheel is the opposite of blue. So this peach just helps to neutralize that. And I just try to apply a little bit of it. Don't need much. It's very pigmented. And then I will go over top of this with my Flesh Tones concealer. I'm just using the Tarte Shape Tape. This is in the shade Light. I think it's B20 or 20B. Yeah, 20B is the shade number. And just gonna put some of it there, get it in my eyelashes. And then I'm just going to blend that out with my sponge here. But Tarte Shape Tape is also another one of those products like Revlon Color Stay that will last until I take my makeup off. Doesn't crease, very full coverage. So these two paired together, like the foundation and Tarte Shape Tape, are just so good for lasting. To set everything, I think I'm going to actually use my Morphe Cloud Light Powder in Dawn. This will create just like a light, soft, focused glow on the skin, because I don't really want my skin to look overly matte today, but I do want my foundation to hold up all day long. You can tell that I've really enjoyed this powder. I mean, you can see the Morphe logo pressed in there, but it's slowly starting to fade. And I like to apply this with like a bigger, loose powder brush. So this is the e.l.f. large powder brush. I just think that with a luminous setting powder like this, it's best to apply it with something that's like a little bit bigger and fluffier. So once I get this on, I'll try to show you. Hopefully you can tell how it's kind of creating like a soft glow. And to set my under eyes, I'm using the L'Oreal Infallible Blurfection, and this is just in the translucent shade. And I'm actually gonna go in with my dampened makeup sponge that I use to blend out my foundation and concealer and all that. And I just get some of the powder here on the little tip of the sponge and just kind of press the excess there on the back of my hand. And then I'm just gonna press what's left on the sponge here to set the under eyes. So I hope you can see like how that really sets and blurs everything compared to this eye over here. This powder is just amazing. I love both the translucent and the light pink in this powder. The light pink is just maybe slightly a little bit more brightening because it's got like a little bit of that pink, but I love both. And sometimes I'll even take a little bit down sort of on my T-zone areas just because I don't necessarily want those areas to be super like shiny or anything like that. And then for my brows, I'm just going to fill them in with the Maybelline Build-A-Brow in black brown. And I really need to order a new one of these. Like the gel side is basically done. And the pen is getting like where it's not quite as deep in color. It's not really getting dried out, but you can tell that it's getting low on the ink in the pen. But I really love the Maybelline Build-A-Brow. I own the shades in Ash Brown, black brown, and I have medium brown, which medium brown is really warm toned, and I don't know, like even though my hair is actually pretty warm toned, I just find that since my brow hairs themselves aren't super warm, it just looks a bit off. So it's better for me to use something that's a bit more neutral on my eyebrows. So just gonna fill them in with the pen side. And this pen's very fine, so if you really wanted to really focus and get in there and do just really brow-like hair strokes, you totally can do that with this product. And it lasts until I take my makeup off, so it's just a great eyebrow pen. I mean, if you're newer to my channel, or if this is like the first time you're seeing one of my videos, you probably don't really know my backstory on any of this, but basically, I used to have a job where I was a photo editor for an online retailer. And a couple of years ago in 2023, I was laid off from my job. And then after that, I just focused on doing like just YouTube full time for like a year. And then I kind of decided like I'm not really making enough money doing it, like just doing YouTube. So I went back to work because the place where I worked, they were hiring again, but not for the photo department. It was just for like the warehouse picking product for photo. So, and the warehouse where I was going to be working is like 4 minutes down the street from where I live. So over this past year, that's what I've been doing. And I've just gotten really burnt out with that job, and I just don't really feel fulfilled. I mean, it worked for what I needed it to work for at the time. But basically I put in my 2 weeks notice at work just because I want to move on to other things. I have a couple of ideas of some things that I want to do. I don't know how things are going to pan out over the next few months, but I also am really into tie-dye. And if you've been following me for a little bit, like anytime I wear tie-dye shirts here, you know, on my channel, there's shirts that I've made, and I always get comments like, where did you get your shirt? Or even out in real life, people will ask me that. So I've decided to start to sell my tie-dye shirts. I'm not going to have an online store quite yet, but I just want to do some like craft fairs, like local craft fairs, and just different local things like selling my tie-dye shirts. So I've been in the process of building up like a stock of different shirts because I'm going to be doing craft fair in November. So like a month from now. So I've been working on that. So that's coming up. So I'm going to be doing that. And I'm also going to be getting back into filming YouTube more consistently and like more videos. So I want to try to go back to posting 3 videos a week. Since this palette doesn't really have any other lighter shades than that one that I used on the front part of my lid, I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Color Icon palette in Walking on Eggshells. And if I can find my brush here, I'm just going to go in with this cream highlight shade in the palette to do like my brow bone highlight and the inner corner highlight. But I really love the eye look from that palette. It is so pretty. Okay, now I'm gonna like look in my collection to figure out what blush I want to use, because I feel like I could go a lot of different ways with my blush. Like I have this Revlon blush, which I really love this, and I don't use it super often, but this is very berry. I also have the Morphe like wine blush. This is Wine and Dine, which it's pretty, but I feel like it's almost too much because my eyes are so intense. This would also be really pretty. This is another Morphe blush. This is in Blind Date. So let's keep those 2 out. Something lighter might also be really pretty. This is another Revlon blush in Tickled Pink, I think. Yeah, Tickled Pink, which is pretty. And then I kind of have like the Morphe version of that. This one, which this is really hot pink. I don't think I'm going to go with this one, but this is in Après Ski. It's like I've also got some really cool toned ones, which that almost looks a little bit gray on me at times, but that is the the Maybelline blush in, I want to say plum. Does it say on here? Yeah, plum. So if you have been on the if you've been on the hunt to find a really cool toned blush, this is very cool toned. I don't know. Blind Date is really pretty. Let's use the Morphe Cheek Thrills and Blind Date. I know several of you guys also own this blush. It is a really beautiful, like everyday pink color. And it's kind of in between like warm and cool. It's more of like a neutral. Or at least I feel like it is. And I'm just using the Sigma F40 to apply the blush. But yeah, that pairs really nicely with the eyes. I do like that. And I love like these Morphe blushes. They are just so nice. And you've got like a cream, a balm, and then the powder, which I'm just using the powder today. And then for my bronzer today, I'm just going to be using the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. But yeah, I've always just been more of a creative person my whole life. And I know that's one of the biggest reasons why I just love filming here on YouTube and doing makeup tutorials, because it is a creative outlet for me. It's probably one of the reasons why I've always loved makeup. I love the fact that you can kind of like change the way that you look a little bit. I just always found that fascinating, like before and afters, and just even FX makeup. I know I don't really do that here on my channel, and I haven't really gotten that much into it, but I just think it's so cool what people can do with makeup. It's just really amazing. It's like artistry, but on your face or body. I don't know. I just think it's the coolest. So I think if my jobs that I have just aren't creative over a period of time, like either creative in the sense of problem solving, that's like a form of creativity to me. So if my job doesn't have a lot of problem solving or like process development, like where we're trying to make a process better, I tend to get really bored and burnt out with my job. But if I have a job where I'm either creative or using problem solving skills or doing both, like that is where I flourish. So, and I'm trying to decide, I'm like, do I want to use a little bit of the Revlon blush too in Berry? I might add just a little bit of this blush, because I kind of just want my blush to be just maybe a little bit more intense back here. And I'm debating on if I want to do like a highlight or anything. Like this eye look would look so beautiful with the BECCA Prismatic Amethyst highlight, which I think I still have that highlight. Let me see. Yeah, I do still have it. I don't think that BECCA Smashbox times BECCA, I don't know if they make this anymore, but Prismatic Amethyst, it's like a purpley pink highlighter shift type product. And I'm trying to figure out what brush I want to use. Also, I am starving this morning. After I get done filming this video, I have got to eat. I'm so hungry today. I think yesterday I was just like so consumed with doing tie-dye. Like I tie-dyed like 16 shirts yesterday. And I didn't eat enough. I'm just starving. So you can, I hope that you can see how that pairs really nicely with the eyeshadow. So pretty. And then before I do my lips and do my mascara, I'm going to go ahead and mist my face with my setting spray. And I think today I'm debating if I want to do the L'Oreal Infallible 3-second mist, just because this is going to really help to lock on my makeup. Let's just use this today. This, oh, it's kind of like hairspray. You kind of can't breathe for a minute after you spray that. Let me get a fan. Whew. Yeah, I feel like using that, I'm like, I'm going to get cancer. It just smells so strong. But that stuff works so well at locking on your makeup. And it also doesn't add a lot of extra shine to the face. I just felt like with using that luminous setting powder that was just like the perfect amount of shine, and I didn't want to add any more. Okay, so now let's just go ahead and do my lashes, and then I'll figure out what lipstick I want to use. So I'm just gonna go ahead and curl up my eyelashes. I've been doing this mascara combo with the Revlon Color Stay Full-Time Mascara and the Maybelline Lash Sensational. I'm kind of getting really low on my Lash Sensational, and I need to use this Revlon Color Stay Full-Time Mascara up. So that's why I've been combining these two. So I also find with the Revlon one, it just does a good job of like separating the lashes. I like how I can really get up under there. I mean, like the brush is actually kind of similar between these two mascaras, like if I just show you the wands. So hopefully you can see them there. The Maybelline one is the fatter one and the Revlon one is the skinnier one there. But they're kind of similar-ish. So I was looking through my lip products, trying to decide what I was going to wear with this eye look today. This is another new product that I picked up the same time that I got that eyeshadow palette. And this is one of the Maybelline Lifter Glaze Oil Balms. And this is in the shade Acai Glaze. And it's like a really pretty berry color. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply this. And I do think that this is such a gorgeous burgundy plum shade. Like this is very similar to the Nivea Blackberry. So if you own this and you really like the shade of this, I think you will really enjoy this Maybelline one. It is a little bit more intense. Like you can build it up to a more intense color. I think this would be gorgeous with like a lip liner too. So just to show you guys the finished makeup, and I think that lip pairs so nice with the eyes. Like, I am in love with how this makeup look turned out today. So you guys will have to let me know like what you think. Have any of you guys bought this new Revolution, the Cherry Icon palette? It kind of takes me back to when Urban Decay did the Naked Cherry palette. I know this isn't exactly like that one, but it's given me Naked Cherry vibes. If any of you guys remember that eyeshadow palette, like that was, I loved that collection and collab, though I did end up selling that palette just because I wasn't using it. But now looking back, I'm like, maybe I should have held on to that. But before I go, I did want to read out of my devotional book today. So I've been trying to read out of this at the end of my Get Ready With Me videos. I love this devotion book. It has devotions for the morning and the evening. A lot of times I'll just read both the morning and evening in the morning. And I was looking at the devotion for today before like filming the ending of this video. And this just speaks so much to what I experienced this week at work. Like I told you guys earlier in the video, like I have not been happy with my job for a little while, like mostly just because I'm not fulfilled doing what I'm doing. And I know that I could be doing a lot more. And at the time when I got that job, it was what I needed. But I've really just been feeling lately that God has been just speaking to me and telling me that I need to move on. But then like part of me has been scared. And then I think like, well, people are probably going to be upset if I leave without having like another job, even though like I do YouTube and things like that. But I just really felt like God was telling me it is time for you to leave. And I kept struggling with it, like where I would think, okay, I'm going to put my 2 weeks in, and then I would go back to work and be like, well, maybe it's fine. You know, it's not terrible. Like I can just deal with it. But then I was kind of getting to the place where I felt like I wasn't sleeping well, and I just felt like this low grade, like kind of anxiety stress about it. And so then I finally worked up the courage to put in my 2 weeks. So I got in touch with like the HR rep and my manager, let them know that I was putting in my 2 weeks. And after I did that, I went back out to the warehouse to work, and on one of our conveyors at work, someone put like a sticker on there that says happiness matters, and then there's like some other stickers that say thank you. And like I have seen these stickers thousands of times because I've worked in that warehouse off and on for a long time. But anyway, I came out of the break room and I saw that sticker, and I literally, it was like God spoke to me in that moment. I always get so teared up every time I think about it. It just like, it really touched me when I saw it. But I felt like he was telling me happy matters to him. You know, like happy matters to me. Your happiness matters to me. And like, after that, I saw the thank you, and I felt like that was him telling me thank you for listening to me and taking this leap of faith and just go ahead and putting in your 2 weeks notice. Like, and then the other thank you I felt like was my company, like telling me thank you for everything that you've done. But yeah, this devotion today. So I'm just going to go ahead and read it, but this is what the picture looks like for this devotion. Such a pretty picture. I love the pictures in this. I say that every time I read out of this devotional book. But it says a full of life. May God surprise you with moments of grace and refreshment. May He bring the long-awaited breakthrough. May He bless you with sudden belly laughter and watery-eyed joy. May He give you a gift that you least expect. And may He inspire you to pray more audaciously, I don't know if I'm saying that right, than you ever have before. He is with you and for you. And then the scripture for today is from Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 15. And this is the New Living Translation. I recommend having fun because there is nothing better for people in this world than to eat, drink, and enjoy life. That way they will experience some happiness along with all the hard work God gives them under the sun. So, I don't know, just in reading that, it just reminds me of what God told me this week, that happiness matters to Him. And, you know, He wants you to live a purposeful life for Him, but at the same time, He wants you to enjoy life as well. I think sometimes that we forget that. And, you know, so if you've been struggling, just know that good things are coming, especially if you are a child of God, if you're a person of faith, if you're a Christian like me. Just know that God is taking care of you, and listen, just pray and listen to Him. But yeah, so I hope that you guys have a great week. Thank you if you stayed to the end of this video. I know that this was probably a little bit longer than what my videos have been lately, but I know that you guys enjoy my longer get ready with me videos. So I will see you in the next one, and I hope that you have a great week. Like I said, bye-bye.